afternoon, brothers and sisters in Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My name is Supreme Apostle Baksay. I'm Supreme Apostle of Supreme Lord Jesus Christ in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, located in Salt Lake City, Utah, US. With Thomas Spencer also President of President. I would like to dedicate this to most of himself, but and some also Jesus Christ, so my most quality of heaven, so I can have an ascension to heaven as early as possible. I suppose I'm working on the divine project, and that Jesus Christ is absolutely most triumphant. That the man that was born to woman on earth to translate the heaven's glory to ascend to heaven now, do, soon, or very early. Because definitely now is approximately any second from now on. The Orthodox Jew is within 1 month, up to 1 month. Longer than 1 month, but we decided that it will be soon, up to 2 seasons, 6 months, up to half a year. And anything over half a year is very early. Canada has different definitions as a complement to me to find out what now, do, soon, or very early means. You can send a message. I actually am also on the telephone on 07505931. I Supreme Apostle Baksay as Supreme Apostle of the Supreme Lord Jesus Christ, working on a project that is truly divine and eternal, and that's the project. Okay, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to translate the heaven's glory and to ascend to heaven. I also invite those who are not at this time members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to come to Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and to help us to be more heavens-like, more Christ-like, more Christ-centered, maybe more vegan, more equalitous or equitous, to evenate the differences that are financial, economical differences. And also those other related as budget, budget equity, and then also the schedule or diary or journal that might have quality journals, each personal or quality planners to exceed those best missionaries in Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I also thought about the home, equality of home. As you know, the many missionaries in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have also houses where they live, and then they also go to blocks of flats where they're serving as missionaries. The equality or equity, or to evenate the differences in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to prevent from iniquity, that is easy and possible. It's the easiest way how to obey Supreme Lord Jesus Christ. And I, for example, also feel sometimes, yes, the angel was John the Revelator receiving a revelation that he saw the angel with the seal of the living God saying with a loud voice unto those 4 other angels that was given power as unto the first presidents of both apostles to not hurt the earth, neither the sea, nor the air, neither the tree, but to train youth, children and youth, and their parents and friends, even those 144,000 of the tribes of Israel, 12 tribes, 12,000 of the tribe of Judah, 12,000 of the tribe Ephraim, Joseph, Ephraim, 12,000 of the tribe Levi, 12,000 of the tribe Gad, as well as the other tribes of Israel that was together, 12 of them. Now, I think that Ephraim, Joseph, Manasseh, that's one. So we can fit Levi too. Now, Dan, also a very important tribe, just because it was transfigured in the boundaries of the tribal place of Dan. We believe that it was around Hermon where Jesus Christ was transfigured, and it was shown His Son glory to Peter, James, and John. So we testify as we like to receive forgiveness, we like to ascend to heaven now. So we testify that Jesus Christ was transfigured around, or showed His Son glory to Peter, James, and John, and was communicated with Moses and with Ilya about his great ascension. Okay, Jesus Christ was accomplishing at about that time 1983 years ago. Now to enable members of the Church of Jesus Christ Adolescents and non-members to come together and to rejoice. I believe the celestial wedding is one of the ways how can we equalize. If you remember how Jesus Christ equalized, he was approximately 30 as he started to equalize, and to be very uniquely, Jesus Christ was also starting 14 nights of fasting, and he was not fasting only at night, but he was fasting also at morning, noon, afternoon, and evening and night. Jesus Christ loved fast. I also would like to no longer. I sometimes started out fast until I sent to heaven. That's which I could hold approximately well, that's actually not good to say so because we leave this video public so which is if it was ever saying nobody could hear us please. Except Jesus or those friends that was helping us in the fast. Who can help us to fast and be fasting? Let's we need to believe with the Church of Jesus Christ and I'm praying to the Church of Jesus Christ and they're listening. Maybe other churches may also help us. So Jesus was raised by the 3 years approximately. He was equalizing. It was at that time quite easy to equalize Jesus Christ as the Jewish neighborhood was empowered by many Christians of Christianity, and Jesus could accomplish extremely many miracles. So it was easy for people to believe and to equalize. We may have now even the easier task to do to equalize very easily this time. We have 2 billion of Christians. 2 billion of Christians. We sometimes feeling most comfortable. Sometimes we felt that we need some more comfort, especially as we was realizing what that means to worship. In short language, there doesn't exist any such relation as worship. So I couldn't understand what it means worship. So I was thinking that because it was likened to praises and to honor God as well as to serve God, so I thought it is the same. And then I realized that worship is something really naughty. I mean, usually those who are English speakers into the battleship and into the war, and then to God sometimes. Sometimes now that's the better part of. Then others that thereafter like do or so these are also almost perfect do or soon or very early like within a year. Very early maybe within a year to ascend to heaven. Now Jesus had 3 years, so we might also extend it to 3 years. Those are also the best who like within 3 years to ascend or most excellent. I'm already 13 years in Christianity. I was not 13 years ago as I was 21. Stayed up to my 21st birthday. And I served with honor. President Hinckley was granted a certificate that I'm worthy. I had to be honored with the service. With that process of a missionary, I was actually with President Jensen, embassy president, and President Manor in Frankfurt, German mission, and President Gordon Hinckley. Thomas Spencer Moulton was on the right of Gordon Hinckley. I believe Michelle blessed one after the translation tells us that it is now the time when we ought to be translated so let us think of the vegan source of food and vegan source of bread might help us to feel somewhat more blessed as those Jews that was around Jesus Christ as he was dressed partially in leather and was partially into fishes or doing fishing with disciples and was telling them where they can find fish to kill them and eat them. But that's not cannibalism to eat fishes or lamb or goat or pork or chicken or pigeon or whatsoever the Jews at that time was eating. The 10 tribes of Israel was already scattered since 700 BC and could not get back. So Jews actually, they was not completely scattered, they was partially scattered to Babylonia and to Persia, but then they returned and Jesus Christ was born among Jews. There was maybe Biden Benjamin, Biden Simeon, or Simeon maybe only, or however possibly at those times. We have the other tribes scattered still. Some of them are gathering in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Some of them are gathered in the Christian churches. I invite all those that are not at this time members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. to come to Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I testify that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that in Salt Lake City in Utah, in the U.S., President Monson being at this time president of his presidency, we have Thursday 637 in London, and that's 13th of March 2014. Mr. Thomas was the president of his presidency. I testified that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the only kingdom of heaven, and that the baptism in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the gate into only kingdom of heaven, and into the unto our translation to heaven's glory, and ascension into the presence of Supreme highest of heaven. So I already met different sorts of people there. They were feeling differently about me and I about them in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So how can we feel most perfect? I think the vegan form of food helps. So if you abstain from alcoholic drinks or alcoholic foods, if we help one another to abstain, of course, equalizing, qualitizing intellect, spiritual gifts, temporal gifts, money, planning, and there is also home, what sorts of home we have. So then it will be easy for us as vegans to abstain from alcohol, coffee, and tobacco, and maybe also from hot drinks, maybe also from anything that is dairy products, flesh and blood. That might be one of the options. I remember in Holy Scriptures it is written at the first commandment, the commandment 4. The first commandment God gave ever, according to the Bible, was to our first parents, to Adam and Eve, to multiply, to replenish the earth, to subdue the earth, and to have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, creeping things, and over all the earth. And then it was commanded that dads multiply, to subdue the earth, all the earth, whatsoever in life and organic, inorganic matter. Then there was commanded to partake of habs ultimate, of those heads that are pleased unto the sight of Supreme Will, Supreme Reality, good for food. And that's where I see that nobody could understand until I said that, yeah, I actually was feeling that some men understood anyways, but I feel that I have now some more empowerment. As I mentioned in the scripture, that our first parents, Adam and Eve, already was teaching the doctrine of the partake on the herbs, or at least they was seen as part of the commandment, and was recorded by Moses. So Moses also knew it is in the first book of Moses, chapter 1, verses 26 to 29. And chapter 2, there is also about it mentioned, and it is in Genesis, first book of Moses named Genesis, chapter 2, verse 9 and verse 16. And then we have also blessing as temporal salvation is mentioned by Joseph in the Doctrine and Covenants of Jesus Christ in section 84 verse 61 and section 84 verse 33 to 39. And then finally the word of wisdom, Doctrine and Covenants of Jesus Christ in Latter-day Saints, section 89 verses 1 to 34 in the temporal salvation. 2 is temporal salvation already, and then up to 21. I especially like to emphasize in Word of Wisdom of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, according to Doctrine and Covenants of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, section 89, and verse 13 through 15 inclusive. That will be regarding the cafeteria of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the temple, also the temple. That's verses 9 to 11. We now sacrificing wine in many cases and drinking water. Some said that we can also sacrifice bread. There are many doctrines how to fast and how to get to fasting. I think that the best doctrine is to equalize spiritual gifts and friendships. I would like to remember that Jesus had many friends, and he's even only begotten flesh. That's quite equidose position to Supreme Will and Supreme Yahweh. So now we are getting the meaning of the word equality or equity or equinating to be equal with Supreme Will and Supreme Yahweh. That we mentioned is in the scripture, the oath of the Holy Priesthood that is recorded in Doctrine and Covenants of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and section 84 verses 33 to 39, and around about there. Now the testimony. So I testified by the authority of the Holy Order of the Star. I dedicated this video to Supreme Lord, Supreme Yahweh, and their Moses and disciples, Supreme Disciples. by the authority of the Holy Order of Supreme Lord Jesus Christ, and in the name of Supreme Lord Jesus Christ, Master of Minds of the Baksay people. Now we want the pagans to believe that the pagans will be able to equalize without war, as we have in English language the word worship, and we will like that there is no worship. And all day is only praises to God, honor to God, as well as the service to God. It might be the part of the service might be including worship, but I believe that there's such work which shall be only military. Eventually, some journalist that speaks about military service can say worship a lot. But otherwise, in the church of the church shall not be mentioned at all. As the minds of men might be clear from their relation, so we might not do more worse than necessary. So Jesus Christ might not say that, for instance, that contention, this contention against this person or that team or another nation or even unit of nations or whole race to be attacked. So that's it. So we need to make sure that will not happen. Also individuals and also communities or famous communities and all races or several races strive to govern according to the revelation that has been given, the revelations of kindness, the revelations of gratitude, that our hearts might be fleshy and soft. Anybody's hard-hearted. For instance, Joseph Smith was very hard-hearted. He was pondering and meditating about Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith said that he was so hard-hearted that he commanded to all men to break their hearts. And now Joseph Smith was so stiff-necked that he was even commanded to all men to get a contrite spirit. So that's not necessary. Joseph Smith is dead. Joseph Smith is not as important as ever John Taylor died. He was wondering how could John Taylor die, as he said something like Joseph is the most glorious person from all disciples of Jesus Christ. So that's not true. John Taylor said it is recorded in the Holy Scriptures, and it is a lie. It's not true. Jesus is not important. He is somewhat of importance. Somewhat important is God, but I believe that Enoch, Moses, Elia, maybe not as important as me, but it's more important than Joseph for sure. Now, how do we know that I, Supreme Apostle Baksay, am more important than Enoch, Moses, Elia, that I am almost as important as Supreme Lord Jesus Christ? That is upon us to decide. Not Jesus Christ really was judging us before we were born. He's seen us, He created us, and He revived us openly. So this what we have now on earth is already openly revived. To some we pray that they can be so good on earth that they can get to the highest stage, better stage. I also myself was born in a communist country, and I was later thinking about how it came that Slovak Republic was a communist country. And I was not finding that important to think about. But later I was told that it was really Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Saints. Yeah, they had that understanding, that episode, so they brought it to us. So how can we now persuade Jesus Christ that He will grant us again the honor of Christianity? But maybe I to become United States American president, it is possible that Slovaks will have plebiscite referendums, so Slovak citizens will change to the United States America. We can have in Central Europe, it is as it was measuring from Great Britain west border or from Ireland west border to Ural in Russia, where the Europe is situated, from north coast of Norway to south coast of Italy, Greece, and Spain. So it was measuring approximate center of Slovak Republic. So we can have it in Central Europe, United States of America. It is possible. Plebiscite referendum is also possible. So how it goes? That's actually wanted to think about that we are creators of our destiny. We have eternity right now with Supreme Elohim and Supreme Yahweh, and we can persuade Supreme Elohim and Supreme Yahweh, our Supreme Creator, that we to be not only good but perfect as He is perfect, because we would like to obey Lord Jesus Christ. And He prepared the plan and was obedient to different spirits how it would be in this plan. But at the same time, we would like to ask Him that we in this time choosing me, that motion that I am my proposals of my motion is that members of the Church of Jesus Christ will transfer to Ascension heaven. Of course, if we have first 100,000 ascending, then my determined coming to Church of Jesus Christ level saints, we might have also 2 billion members of the Church of Jesus Christ level saints, and then my house 2 billion ascending. Some are protesting that not now. Much later or much earlier they have ascended to heaven, or not as 2 billion people, only 144,000. But it might be true that not all people in all history of mankind will ascend to higher heaven, but 2 billion we can get there in these times. That's why I'm much more important than Enoch, Moses, and Elias. That's why Jesus is not as important at all. Even though Enoch, Moses, and Elias are more important than Joseph Smith. Also, those Trinified seem more important to Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith has got also some importance, but far not as much as I feel much more important than Moses and Elias, because in this time I'm persuading Christianity and all mankind that we may have ascended into heaven. So let us therefore turn from mankind to Supreme Elohim and to Supreme Yahweh to persuade them. I need helpers, and the best servicemen are really God. They serving most celestially, they service is really supernal, they created us, so would we not persuade them to us into heaven? Brothers and sisters, I sing also hymn that we might have that glorious love to help one another to ascend to heaven. As I have loved you, love one another, please Brothers and sisters, in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints around, I, as the Son of God, I think that I shall be saved from the sins of all my forefathers. I would like to have posterity in heaven. If that is possible, I will plead the Heavenly Father that I might immediately ascend and have a celestial wedding in highest heaven. If I somewhat delay for a year or two, that's why I said somewhat to exceed links that should bring to a cover story of New Era magazine of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In October 2007, New Era magazine for youth of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, someone who exceeds her in beauty, if such person might come, someone higher, someone with bluer eyes and whiter eyelight and more bloody teeth, whiter skin, I said, maybe more beautiful crown. Someone really excellent and marvelous to come and to marry me. Well, this is approximate actually. So that's just it's not a higher, a greater, more athletic, yeah. So that's what I appreciate. Yeah, whiter skin, more close skin. So we would like to be celestial, transcendental, so ascend to heaven. What can help us? So we have here in London several attractions. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is in this Christian country already since 863 A. Since birth of Jesus Christ, as Constantine and Message went to organize the Christianity in Moravia and in Russia, in Kievan, Russia, and had translation of the liturgy and Bible into the local tongue. In that time, also Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was assessing here in England, London, and Christianity was organized. So we have Slovaks as the most Christian people, and also English. Slovaks to praise and honor God, and English to worship. I'm sure that in worship is included also praise and honor, and that we now have Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints since 1830 by Joseph Smith by Jesus Christ as the main governing church. So what can we do that we might have some more Slovaks and some more Russians and some more of Czechs, Polish, Belarusians, Ukrainians, Slovenes, Serbo-Croats, Bosnian-Herzegovians? What can we do that more of those Slavians, not as slaves of Africa or African slaves in America or in Great Britain, but those Slavians that are looking quite the same if you compare English to Slavia. Because Slavia is more important of Christian countries. So how can we get some more Slavians into the leadership of the church, and how can we get that it could be also more quality church? I mean, to get Slavian of Yugoslavia man to Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints leadership. It is situated in Salt Lake City, Utah, in the U.S. That it might not be as difficult to persuade a Russian president or American president who just made such a wonderful accent. So that will be in leadership. The first person who goes out is mainly Slavs of Slavia, and maybe on general board maybe one English person. And the American business at the moment is African, so I said we can organize first lady schools of apostles and headquarters for Africans in Africa, so they might have their own family, their own race with Church of Jesus Christ and their own first presidency. And I might be elected in United States of America a Baksay president, a supreme apostle, so I'll overlook therefore also the Slavia presidency. And we might have also one in England, so we might also worship, but smaller the America that's given so much too much terror if Americans are worshiping. So I actually decided if English have worship God, that's such a small island, that's really good for me. But maybe have America with some more of praising and honoring God as the first place. And then worship starts with just counting how many military bases President Thomas wants to go around the world, and there's more than 15 military bases. And some of them are even with nuclear heads, nuclear weapons. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints did the same Russia operation, and the other countries, well, maybe not too many, but maybe 8 other countries have also. So I think that we might now have some more of praising and honoring God, not to hurt the earth, neither the sea, nor the air, neither the tree, but to work on the learning the name of the Lamb or of the Supreme Lord Jesus Christ and Supreme that my Ascension to heaven. This would be fun service to God, and we have Book of Mormon musical here in London. We are very grateful for all their service that has been done by worshiping presidents of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, President Joseph, Brigham and John Taylor, and their worships, and then there's worships of President Spencer McGill, Esther Benson, Howard W. Hodge, Gordon Peterson, Thomas Spencer, most of their worship. This is more worship. Let us therefore bless one another, brothers and sisters, with some more of variety in our vocabulary, in our grammar. Grammar is more important grammar, more variety in vocabulary, and that we might vary only these sorts of heaven sorts of variety. We might have the heaven sorts of Utah English, and as I wanted to be President of the United States of America, and to be elected above the general board of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as Supreme Apostle of Supreme Lord Jesus Christ, I propose that my wife already arrived, so my Ascension might be, and my wife with me, safe to high heaven. So help me, please. I love you. Thank you. Bye bye.